Okay, picture this. You've just locked your front door, you heard the click, you turn the key, but what if a simple push on the handle is all it takes for someone to walk right in? It sounds crazy, I know, but it is a surprisingly common and really dangerous security flaw that could be leaving your home wide open right now. So let me just ask you straight up. Is your front door secretly unlocked? And I'm not talking about you forgetting to turn the key. I mean, could someone literally walk up to your house, pushed on the handle, and just open the door? For a lot of people, this isn't some hypothetical scenario. It's a real problem. And let's be really clear about this. If your door can be opened from the outside without a key, that's not just a little quirk. It is a major security flaw. It basically undoes everything you think you're doing to keep your home safe, and it needs your immediate attention. Seriously, this isn't an inconvenience. It's a critical failure of your home security. So you're probably wondering, how on earth does something like this even happen? Well, it's usually not a random thing. This problem often pops up right after you get a new door installed, or maybe after you've had your locks replaced. It can also happen over time as the parts inside your lock just start to wear out. The danger here is pretty obvious, right? It doesn't matter how many deadbolts you have or how solid your door is. If the handle itself can pull back the latch from the outside, your home is, for all intents and purposes, unlocked. It's open to anyone who happens to try the handle, and that leaves you and your family totally exposed. All right, so what is actually going on inside that lock? We should think of this like a little detective story. There are four main culprits we need to investigate to figure out this security mystery. So let's dive in and look at them one by one. Here are our four usual suspects. First up, we've got an issue with a part called a split spindle. Second, it could be that the latch just isn't engaging the way it's supposed to. Third, there might be a fault with the internal gearbox. And fourth, it could be a simple but pretty critical case of the wrong hardware being installed in the first place. So let's start with this split spindle. It's actually a pretty clever little part. Its whole job is to separate what the inside handle does from what the outside handle does. See, the inside handle should always open the door so you can get out easily. But the outside one? Nope. If that spindle is missing or even just put in the wrong way around, then both handles will operate the latch. And just like that, boom, your door is unsecured. Culprit number two is tricky because it's so simple. The door swings shut, you hear that satisfying click, and you think, great, it's closed. But what if the latch isn't perfectly lined up with a strike plate on the door frame? It might just be resting against it. The door looks closed, it feels closed, but it's not actually latched. A little push is all it would take to open it. Okay, next up, we're going to look deep inside the door at the gearbox. This is really the heart of your whole locking mechanism. And just like anything mechanical, parts can wear down over time. Or if you've had a lock replaced recently, maybe it wasn't put back together quite right. The result? A faulty mechanism that lets either handle pull back the latch whenever it wants. And finally, we have good old-fashioned human error. This is a surprisingly common mistake, especially if you've got new windows or frames. An installer might just accidentally grab a handle set that's designed for an internal door and fit it on your front door. Well, internal handles are made to open freely from both sides, which is exactly what you do not want for your main line of defense. Okay, so we know the possible causes. Now it's time for you to play detective. And the good news is you don't need any special tools for this. There are a few really simple tests you can do right now to figure out exactly what's going on with your own door. All right, here's your 3-step diagnostic. First, with your door open, lift the inside handle. Then go outside and lift the outside handle. Do they both pull the latch in? If the answer is yes, then the spindle or the gearbox is probably your problem. Second, just confirm this. The outside handle should never operate the latch on its own. And third, if you're comfortable with a screwdriver, take the handle off and just peek inside. Is the spindle missing? Is it broken? Or is it just one solid bar instead of a split one? So, once you've figured out who the culprit is, what's your plan? Well, for a lot of these issues, there are some pretty straightforward DIY fixes you can actually try yourself. If your detective work pointed to the split spindle, you can try adjusting it or just getting a new one. If you found out you have the wrong kind of handles, you'll need to replace them with a proper external set. If the latch is just a bit misaligned, you can often adjust the strike plate on the door frame pretty easily. And if that gearbox feels a little loose, you might just be able to tighten it up and refit it correctly. But, and I really want to stress this, DIY has its limits. There are certain symptoms that should be an immediate red flag, basically telling you it's time to put the screwdriver down and call a professional locksmith. This right here is the most important takeaway of all. If you lift your handle, you engage all those multi-point locks, you turn the key, and the outside handle still opens the latch, that is a massive red alert. You need to call a locksmith right away. That means there's a fundamental failure in the lock, and you need an expert to fix it and make your home secure again.
You know, it all comes down to this. Your front door is your first and most important line of defense. It's the one thing standing between your family and the outside world. So after all of this, the only question that really matters is your door actually doing its job? Don't just assume it is. Go check right now. The security of your home could literally depend on it.